Hi, welcome back to my channel, or a very warm welcome if you're new here. My name is Sophie, and in today's video I'm going to be picking my July TBR, and once again I have the TBR cart for you. So this is still stocked with all of the books that are on my reading challenges that I need to complete this year. Our fantasy bingo has a little bit longer as that's till March, but I would like to read as many of those as possible this year as well. So I have the cart back. I've also added some more books, so some recent purchases, some other books that I'm interested to read, and also some of my BookBox subscription books. So once again, I do have prompt cards that are from Illumicrate, but these are slightly different. So I think these will probably have some better prompts on them to the cards that I've used previously. I think there's more of them. So that's how I'm going to be picking my July TBR. I honestly can't believe that we are now halfway through 2026. I just want the time to slow down. I want a little bit of time to catch my breath. It feels like everything has been quite chaotic, quite busy, and just the time is moving so quick. But hopefully the time will start to slow down at some point soon. So let's get started. I'm going to give these cards a shuffle, and then I'm going to pick my TBR for July. So I think, again, I'm going to keep it quite short. So I think I'm going to do 6 picks, and we'll see, once I pick those 6, we'll see where we're at with the TBR, and I'll decide if I want to pick any more. So let's get going. So I will pick off the top. So here is the first prompt. So hopefully that is the right way up. Yeah, so your newest Illumicrate book. So that's actually quite a good prompt because it means that I can prioritize my BookBox subscriptions. But unfortunately, that does mean that this one is not on any of my reading challenges. So I think it's going to be Bloodbound, isn't it? So this is the most recent Illumicrate book that I received. So yeah, this one came in towards the end of May, I think. So I think this is May's subscription, but I haven't unboxed June's yet. So yeah, Bloodbound by Ellis Hunter. And actually, I'm really excited to read this one. I've heard a lot of hype surrounding this. A lot of people are reading this. And I think if the cover is anything to go by, we have a cat and we also have a Black Panther dragon. So I'm really interested to see how this one's going to go. And I think this is by 2 authors. So yeah, I'm really interested to get to this one. So book number 1 on the July TBR. So I think I will discard this prompt. Yeah, I think rather than put them back, we will discard the prompts. So prompt number 2. Oh, one just flew out of the deck. So it's this one here. And this is Upside Down. So this is a book by a debut author. So I think I do have a few by debut authors on this cart. So let's just have a little look. So on this bottom row, I don't think any of these are debut authors. Perhaps Mistress of Bones, Maria Z. Medina, perhaps she's a debut author. She has had short fiction, so technically not a debut author. What about on this? Let's just do this side first. Potentially these literary fiction ones, but I don't really want to read much literary fiction this month. So yeah, what about up here? Kat Dunn, I think, was she a debut author when she wrote Hungerstone? I know she's got another book out that I also have on this cart, but... So this is her adult fiction debut, although she has written other books before, so maybe that one won't count. What about... No, I don't think... I mean... Senlin Yu, but this is based on fan fiction, so this is also probably not a debut author. This is quite tricky. Normally I have a lot of debut authors, so let's have a look. What about one of these ones? Maybe Deathbringer or Stormbreaker probably are debut authors. Nope, she's a best-selling romance author, so not a debut. Deathbringer. Nope, she is a fantasy author, so why is it so difficult to find a debut on this card? What about Aphrodite? Veronica Rogerson, no, she wrote Hurt as well. I think Hurt came out before this one. So again, not a debut author. This is so tricky. So let's look on the other side then. What do we got? No, Seek the Traitor's Son. Veronica Roth is not a debut. Oh, gosh, none of these are debut authors. What about down here? What about Jitterbug? Oh, maybe the poet Empress. Maybe that's a debut author. Yes, debut author. So The Poet Empress by Shen is actually one I've been really excited to read. And it is on, I think, my R Fantasy bingo card. So yeah, I'm going to be reading this one in July. So let's see what's going to be next. Book number 3. So that's this prompt here. And it is a book with werewolves. So I don't think there's that many on this. I think there is definitely one, which is Bride. So yeah, that definitely has werewolves in it. But let's just have a look to see if anything else potentially does. Oh, I wonder if the Jas Hadar was actually a debut author. Never mind. Yeah, so let's just do Bride. So this might be tricky to get out as I've stacked it full of books. Yeah, I think I'm going to struggle to get this out without hurting any books. So let's just take you. I can't get them off the card. Oh dear. So yeah, it will be Bride once I can get it off. Let's see if we have a book that I can pull out. I don't want to hurt any of them because, yeah. Ah, right, there we go. Okay. I have this card too stocked. So, Bride by Ali Hazelwood definitely has werewolves in it. So yeah, this one I was meant to read it last year. It was on my 10 before the end and never made it. And I think this is, I'm not sure if this is our fantasy or just my 26 and 2026. But anyway, let's put Bride on the TBR. So that's half of it done. So that's 3 books. Let's choose book number 4. So that's this one here. So this is a book with a library. That also feels a little bit tricky. So what have we got? I don't think any of these do. With a library. Potentially Immortal Consequences. I'm assuming that's in an academy setting, so I'm assuming there is a library. It doesn't specifically mention library, but I think that could be a good bet. No, I don't think any of those have a library. What about Mistress of Bones? No, I don't think that does have a library. That's got a phone box. Katabasis probably has a library in it. Yeah, I mean, they go to hell. I just don't know if that has a library. I mean, the cover has books on it on shelves, so potentially that one. What about on this side? Nope. This is feeling quite tricky to do this TBR. What about the Bewitching? That might have a library in it. So it does have a witchcraft, and I think there is some kind of film element in this, but I'm not sure about a library. So it has some things about manuscripts and academics, so I think there's a good chance that that could have a library in it. I mean, I guess quite a lot of these books could potentially reference a library, but I'm not sure. So yeah, let's just choose between Immortal Consequences, The Bewitching, and Katabasis. So I think, oh, I'm not really sure. I think this one has a sequel coming out, and I don't really want to start a new series because I'm not starting a new series. But equally, I would like to read it before the sequel comes out. But then The Bewitching has been on my TBR for the longest. And it is by one of my favourite authors, and it is quite short. So yeah, maybe let's go with The Bewitching. That's what I'm feeling. So I'm not sure, again, if it has a library setting, but we'll find out when I read it. Okay, so pick number 4. And that is this one here, which is the newest book on your shelf. So I'm not sure which one I got most recently. So I think it's probably going to be one that I got from Foyles most recently, or is it going to be a book box? So yeah, I think it's potentially some of these up here. So I don't think it's Land or This Immortal Heart. I think I actually got some since. So I think actually, is it gonna be this one? So there are some others that I've picked up recently, but I didn't put them on the TBR cart for whatever reason. So I think on the cart, Rotten Heart is actually the newest book on my TBR. But I am debating whether I want to read this one, as in I want to read this one, but I would really like to read Hungerstone first before I pick up her second book. So maybe let's discount this one. I think it's probably going to be the Alix Harrow book, but again, I would like to read the other book by Alix Harrow, The Once and Future Witches, which is actually on my self-destructing books. So yeah, I'm wondering whether, I mean, this is quite short. So do I want to do that? Or it will be a Women's Prize for Fiction book. Audition by Katie Kitamura, I think. That's somewhere on the floor. Oh, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Or I could just go for a book box book, which would be May's book still, as I haven't done June, so it's going to be Deathbringer or Stormbreaker. So yeah. Do I keep true to the prompt or do I cheat? You know what, I think actually I'm going to try and read The Everlasting by Alix Harrow, as I've heard some good things about it. And also my plan is to try and read books as they come into the library rather than them sitting on the TBR for years. So let's go with this one for the newest book on my TBR. So I've lost count. So that's 5. So this should be the last pick, but let's see how it goes. Maybe I'll pick another one. So here is the card on the top. And this is a Dark Academia book. So this TBR is feeling very autumnal, but maybe that's just because I've got lots of autumnal books on the TBR. So I feel like this one's going to be Immortal Consequences, isn't it? So yeah, it's still, do I want to start a new series or not? I guess Katabasis also is Dark Academia, so that could work as well. I probably got some others as well. Dark and Drowning Tide. I don't know if that's Dark Academia though. No, maybe let's just choose between those two, as they are, I think those are both on my 26 books in 2026. So Immortal Consequences or Katabasis. I think there is an audiobook I can borrow for Katabasis as well. Oh, I don't really know what I'm feeling. Yeah, let's do Katabasis because I don't really want to start a new series until I've finished other series. So let's do Katabasis for the Dark Academia book. So that is the 6 picks, but you know what? I think actually I'm going to keep picking some books because although I don't want to overwhelm myself, I do really like to have kind of a TBR of possibilities for the month rather than sticking to this rigid TBR. So let's maybe just pick another couple of books. So pick number 7. Oh, one just fell out. So this is a book by an author you have never read before. So there's quite a lot of options there for this pick. So pretty much most of them, I think. So we could do Hungerstone by Kat Dunn, as I haven't read her before. Do we want to do that? So sadly I can't do Sulin Tan or Stephanie Garber or Adrian Young or Kiri Macaulay. We could do Mark Lawrence, Daughter of Crows, The Jasadair, Mistress of Bones, Isle in the Silver Sea. So pretty much anything from this apart from those I've mentioned there. Also Taylor Jenkins Reid, Samantha Shannon, Erin Morgenstern. But I think apart from that and a few up here, most of them are authors I haven't read before. So yeah, I'm not really sure what to pick for this. So I do have The Stone Witch of Florence, which is a book that was gifted to me, and also Pacifier as well. They were both gifted to me by the publisher, and ideally I'd like to read those soon so I can put up a review. I also have A Beast Links Towards Beijing, but again, literary fiction, do I want to do it or not? I'm thinking not at the moment, actually. So, oh, I could do The Girl in the Eagle's Talons because I haven't read by that author before. Oh, A Dark and Wild Wood. I'm really excited to read this one, but then do I want to leave it for autumn or shall I just do autumn and summer? Again, this wouldn't fulfill any of my reading challenges for the year, which seems a bit stupid as that's the whole goal here, is to do my reading challenges. I think Is Lies We Sing to the Sea, is this an Odyssey retelling? Yes, so actually, let's go for this one because I haven't read Sarah Underwood before. I love mythology. And also we do have the new Odyssey movie coming out. And I believe that this one is a sapphic kind of retelling of the Odyssey. Maybe not retelling, but set during the Odyssey. So yeah, we have Melantho in here as well, which she was in Sweet Bitter Song by Rosie Hewlett. Yeah, let's do this one. I'm really excited to read this. I've had this on the TBR for probably 3 or 4 years now, so it is about time I read this one. And yeah, that seems like a perfect book to read in the summer. So let's do that one. And then, yeah, let's pick one last book, an 8th pick. Please be a good one. Oh, another one has flown out as well. That one. And this is a book with found family. So some kind of cozy book. I'm not sure if I do have anything with found family. These all look like kind of anti-found family books, to be honest. I guess there's Diana Wynne Jones. That feels like a found family book. but I'm not actually sure if I do really want to read Found Family. I'm not really feeling those vibes this month. So yeah, let me just pick again. The final pick. Sorry, I am cheating quite a bit for this TBR. So this one here. And this is a book with a queer character. So yeah, I definitely have, I'm sure I have one of these on the TBR still. So yeah, Hungerstone, Carmilla retelling. So I think that would work. Among the Burning Flowers, that would work. The Isle in the Silver Sea as well, I think. What else? Yeah, you know what? I might actually do The Isle in the Silver Sea. That feels like a summery book to read. And this is by Tasha Suri. And I've been wanting to read this one for a while. So yeah, this one is also really pretty. And yeah, so this is a heart-shattering standalone romantasy of sapphic longing, medieval folklore, and a love that spans the centuries. So yeah, that one sounds really good. So I'm going to add that one to the list and complete the TBR. So yeah, that's all of the books that I'm going to be reading in July. So I will just briefly go back over what we've got. So The Isle in the Silver Sea is a book with a queer character in it. We have Lies We Sing to the Sea by Sarah Underwood, which is a book by an author I haven't read before. Then Katabasis, which I think was a dark academia setting. Then The Everlasting by Alix Harrow, which is the book that I most recently put on my TBR. Then a book with a library, potentially, The Bewitching by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. A book with werewolves, Bride by Ali Hazelwood. Then a debut author, the poet Empress by Shen. And then your newest Illumicrate book, Bloodbound by Ellis Hunter. So yeah, I will just attempt to hold up this stack for you. So yeah, a very interesting TBR, although I am now kind of regretting picking two more because these are quite chunky books. So yeah, here is the July TBR. And actually, I'm really excited about these books. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great summer of reading. And hopefully that will also knock a few of the books off some of my reading challenges. Although once again, I have not picked any self-destructing books. So I'm feeling at this point that those are going to be out of the library by the end of the year, unless I do something about it. So maybe I should try and prioritize those next month, but we'll see how it goes. So I hope you enjoyed me picking my July TBR with these prompt cards. Let me know what you're going to be reading in July, and also if you're interested in reading any of these books that I've picked. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.